Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to this site. You know what I do like about this one, Mike? I do like the countdown clock. However, I can't talk to you while that countdown clock comes on.
No, why do you think
I was mid sentence and you hit it?
Know. You're like, I like it.
Next thing you know,
I think the last thing I heard is you said, I like it, but I can't talk. And then that's when I hit.
Yeah. I thought that. Has it been 7 seconds? That fucker. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to episode 319 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Mike, we are exactly 300. Get this, 300 episodes away from it being the 619. The 619
episode, baby.
Rey Mysterio. We just had the 316 the other day. Yes. We were exactly 300 away. But no, welcome back. It is the Two Dumb Yinzers, everybody. We got a lot of things going on today, Mike. This is our Saturday installment of our 7-day summer schedule here at the Two Dumb Yinzers. We are on 7 days a week now at 11:30 a.m. every day. I don't even know where I want to go because we do got a few big things going on here today. Let me start with the Buccos. Pirates, they did it again. They set a record that only 4 Pirate teams in the history of the Pirates, who, mind you, started in 1887, yes. Fourth time in the history of this franchise. This team goes yard 7 times in one game. 7 times, one game. Andrew McCutcheon, second pitch of the game, gone. Big Stacks Brian Reynolds, only a double short of a cycle.
Yeah.
Single, a home run. The guy, it was the kind of day you'd like to see from Big Stacks. Jack Sawinski.
It's one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jack Sawinski. I was gonna say, no, we've been expecting this from Big Stacks. It's nice to see him finally produce the way we thought he would produce.
Jack Sawinski, 2 home runs in 2 consecutive at bats. Brian Hayes, Carlos Santana, Marcano. It just didn't stop coming. These guys just kept jacking the ball over the wall. It was a lot of fun. And here's the craziest part about it. This George Kirby. Now, apparently he's one of the more dominant pitchers in the American League again. This was a guy that we were supposed to get beat by. He was coming in with a 5-2, 5-1 record, something like this. Now, get this, George Kirby, Mike. He only let up 3 home runs to this point all season. Ooh. He lets up 4 to the Pittsburgh Pirates last night before getting yanked again, and then the Pirates continue to hit home runs. They end up with 7 home runs, Mike, only 4 times in the history of this team, as I mentioned, 1901 being the first. 1901, think of that for a second.
That is nuts. Yeah, he was 5-3 coming into the game. I thought it was going to be like a pitcher's duel because it was him and Keller going head-to-head. I'm thinking, all right, this is going to be a pitcher's duel. And the final score indicates it was anything but a pitcher's duel.
1901, 1947, 2003, and then again last night, this team hit 7 home runs, tying the highest amount of home runs hit in a game this season by any team in the majors. As I said, there's no happy medium with the Pirates.
No.
They're either going to be in last place of the whole league, or they're going to win the World Series. They're either going to lose every game, or they're going to win games in this fashion. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But you know what? It's a fun thing to watch when it does happen. And on top of it all, at the end of the day, the Pittsburgh Pirates worked their way back up, and they're sitting a half game out of first place. After I called them dead in the middle of the week, I said the free fall has started.
You said free fall. I had Tom Petty queued up, ready to go.
You had that, and his people would be on us sure as shit, as the same as I can't. Who's the guy earlier? last season we were playing their music for a brief second, and they got on our
George
shows.
Michaels. George Michael. Yeah, you had it on for 5 seconds, and we got a copyright strike. And I thought we used it appropriately as well, too.
Well, at least Tom Petty's dead, right?
Yeah, Tom Petty's dead. George Michael was dead, too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, we had the whole seance and everything.
Oh, that's right. We did talk to his ghost. I forgot all about that. But the let's see, Seattle. So far to this point, Mike, the Mariners, they've given up the least amount of home runs to anybody all season in the majors.
And then here we come, baby.
And here comes the Pirates. This misfits, this group of derelicts.
Like, who did, like, you're having a bad day when Brian Hayes hits a home run on you. Or even just gets a hit in general. So
yeah,
the Buccos needed this game, man. They needed
big stacks, baby.
Big stacks. This is, like I said, man, this is the type of game he needs to have. Like we were talking yesterday, he's under the microscope, and hopefully, man, this will bust him out of the shell. You know how it is. These guys, pro athletes, you're in a slump, and you're thinking it's never going to end, and then finally you have a good game like this. Okay, you feel better after this game to like, okay, I know I can do this. Now I proved to myself I can do it. I'm going to go out there and continue and build on this. And my God, man, they really needed this game. Like I said, man, coming into this series, we're going to see how good this Bucco team is. Because right now, Seattle's finishing, they're sitting 4th in their division. We're 2nd in ours, and we have identical records. So how good are we? How good are they? I think we're finding out, we found our level. We can compete against, I don't want to say mid-tier teams, but teams who the upper mid of the MLB. I think that's where we're at. We're in that not the top tier, but maybe the 2nd tier down is where the Buccos are settling in baseball.
Yeah,
I'm gonna proclaim that after one game.
Well, I tell you what, Mike. You said this. You said, I thought it'd be a pitcher's duel, which most people did. You have Mitch Keller coming in. Obviously, he's one of the top 10 pitchers in the league. He pitches sixes. Don't get me wrong. He pitches a great game. But if he would have pitched this game, had we not been hitting all these home runs, maybe it would have been a bad game. Just maybe he would have been gone a little bit earlier because he did pitch 6 innings. He gave up 7 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks. Still had 8 strikeouts. And you know what? The 2 of the 6 runs came on the very last pitch that he was in because he gave up, I think, a 2-run jack, and then they, you know what? Let's go ahead and get him out of there. But you're right. Between George Kirby and Mitch Keller, you'd expect maybe a 2-0 game, and especially with a team like us who don't score many runs right now. But you know what? They made a good point on the game last night, Mike. They had said this is when the Pirates and Andrew McCutchen especially starts to warm up. Getting into June is his hottest month. It's been his hottest month throughout his career. And, so it's going to be interesting, Mike, to see which team we're going to get in June. We know what team we got in April. We know what team we got in May. Which team are we going to get in June? It's going to be interesting. This Jekyll and Hyde, Jekyll and Hyde, this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
You're done. Team, you're done for the day. You cannot speak.
It's going to be really interesting, Mike. It's going to be. Check this out. The Pirates right now, they're sitting a half game out of first place. Now this is 2 months into the season, 1/3 of the way through the season. Brewers in first place. Pirates are a half game out. The Cubs are 4.5 out, and both the Cardinals and Reds are sitting 5 games out. I say don't take your eyes off those Cardinals because they won't sit at that position all year. Just mark my words on that. It broke down like this last night. The Reds beat the Cubs 9-0. The Cleveland Guardians beat the Cardinals 4-3.
Oh, Cleveland.
You're right. And also, the Giants beat the Brewers 15-1.
Oh,
if I'm remembering right, the first game of that series was like 10-0 Giants.
I think so.
We're definitely getting some help there.
Yes.
And we're sitting a half game, like a third of the way through the season. Say what you must. It's about this schizophrenic, bipolar baseball team we have. But here we are in the major leagues with other teams that are in the major leagues, including the St. Louis Cardinals. We were sitting a half game out of first place, a third of the way through the season. Again, I think, even if and I don't want to say if they bomb from here on all the way the rest of the season, this is kind of a success.
It is. They're exceeding my expectations. I thought this would be another 90 loss team. I thought they would improve, but not that much. And if they they're exceeding expectations, except for the wild fan expectations that you see on Twitter, like, oh, they're gonna win all these games. No, but they're doing a whole hell of a lot better. They're 2 games over 500. People thought they would probably finish at 500 at best, and now they proved they can play good ball. They proved they could be a division, win the division. But I think right now we're like I said, a second tier team, because we proved in May, or in the beginning of the year, we can play. May, I just forget about this month. Forget about it. I think June is going to be kind of like a mix of April and May, but I think we're going to have a whole hell of a lot better June than we did May. I think this team's fun. They hit rock bottom, and they're clawing their way back out of it. And they're still, like you said, a half game out of first. And thank God the AL or the NL Central sucks this year. My God.
I think this is the kind of season that they need.
Yeah.
They kind of need a scrappy season. And also another thing, Mike, we got to remember, we just played a bunch of good teams over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You got to remember, there's a bunch of bad teams left in this league that we still have to play as well. We get the A's, we get there's plenty of bad teams on this, and you know what? You're expected to beat those teams if you plan on being a good team. So these are things to watch the rest of the way. And again, 2/3 of the way, or 1/3 of the way through the season, we're sitting 26-24. That's gonna put us at roughly 78 wins if you would continue this throughout the season. Which is 78 and 72. Or whatever it is, I'm not necessarily. That's not a bad thing.
We better have, because it's a 162 game season, so 81 and 81's 500.
Yeah,
and you're the math guy. You're the math guy, and you're messing up.
Well, I didn't think we were ironing out math problems. I'm just kind of going off what I have here in front of me.
You make fun of my math.
You understand what I'm saying? I think if this team would finish at so they're 2 games over 500 right now. All right, let me get my pencil and paper because Mike is splitting hairs here.
But no,
I see what I'm saying. If they would continue this pace to go the final 2/3 of the season,
have a winning record.
That's a success. That's a success, and for them to even be in the calling in the race. Usually we're 10 games out at this point.
Yeah, and God, if they anything 500 and below, I think for me is going to turn out to be a disappointing season. Even though 500 record would be an improvement. Losing anything, say like 90 games would actually be an improvement from last year. But my God, the way they've played, the way they show they can play, I think they have to have a winning record this year. They have to be in the battle to the very end for that division title, for a wild card, because they proved they can do it. They got some players over there, man, that Kutch is still trudging along at his age, still putting up the numbers he's putting up. Big Stacks, if he can perform the way he can, they got some potential. And hey, we still have O'Neal Cruz coming back, hopefully sometime this year.
We got Choi, we got O'Neal Cruz, we got a couple of guys that we're talking about bringing up at some point in the season. So things can get better potentially. And as I said, once you hit June, that's generally when the bats heat up, and we'll start to see a little bit more offense, hopefully, here going into the next month and a half. So I'm excited about that. And one thing that I do want to mention, Mike, about this Pittsburgh Pirates team, according to GPT, the Pirates have the 7th most loyal fan base in the majors. And you know what? I do not argue this. I think it should be higher. Anybody that could stick with this team as long as they did, they should be in the top 10, because you know what? This has been the worst team in the majors for the past 3 decades plus. If you are still fighting for your team and going out there and supporting them, you know what? You deserve to be in the top 10.
My God, you're crazy is what you are if you're still going 2 games watching this team. But hey, tip of the cap to you.
What do they say? When you're crazy, something is crazy or insane, or if you can continue to do it, right? If you
the definition of sanity is continually to do the same thing and expecting different results.
That is exactly what we have here in Pittsburgh. The Pirates, they do play game 2 of this series today at 4:10. It's going to be a late game. You got to stay up all night to watch this baseball game. The Pirates coming in at 26-24, playing the Mariners, who's 26-25. They play at 4:10 today, and that's game 2. So check it out. If we win today, baby, we got to win a series. We haven't won a series in a couple series here. So if we win this one, get back on the right track, go down to San Francisco next, which is going to be a hell of a task, because you see what they're doing to the Brewers right now. So let's get some wins. Let's get in when you fit in,
stack them when you get Stack the wins when you can, because once again, I'm going to repeat this all season long. We saw what happened to the Penguins when they were not able to get wins when they should have. You miss it by 2 points they missed out of the playoffs, or a point. So Buccos, get the wins when you can, baby.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised we have a better away record than we do home record.
We do. We are over 500.
Yeah, 14 and 11.
Yeah.
12 and 13 at home. Dang.
We've been good. We've been good on the road, man. With like I said, with the exception of these past couple series where we played really, really, really tough teams, in Tampa. I mean, so not bad, man. Not bad. Pirates today, 4-10, game 2. Check it out. Also tonight, Mike, the Pittsburgh Maulers host the Philadelphia Stars. This game is at 9 o'clock. So if you're looking forward to just hanging out, taking it easy, maybe on a Saturday night, cracking open a cold one, just watch some football, you have it, because at 9 o'clock tonight, the 2-4 Pittsburgh Maulers take on the 3-3 Philadelphia Stars, fighting for a playoff spot. Pittsburgh's Maulers have the league-leading defense.
The defense is nasty.
So you know what? If they get back, they get another win, they're right back in this thing, like 9 o'clock on FS1.
I can't wait. I will be rooting on my Pittsburgh Maulers. I'll probably have it playing on the side screen tonight, because I can't wait. That's
video game night.
Oh, it's video game night for me. I'll be playing Call of Duty very angrily, very drunkenly. But if alongside my Pittsburgh Maulers are on the side, I'll be happy. But no, from game 1 to now, this team has improved literally week in, week out. But that defense, like Ryan says, league-leading defense, and that is no joke. That defense is nasty. If they can just get a consistent offense, because we see what that offense can do, man. When they're on, they can put up points. They can move the ball, but it's just hit or miss. Whether it's play calling or execution or a combination of those two, it just tends to fall apart. But when it's on, they're pretty good offense. That's all you need with that defense, is a pretty good offense.
Yeah, absolutely. The defense is really good. As a matter of fact, as Mike said, it's the league-leading defense. And you know what? Usually the special teams and the defense for the Maulers team are usually right on track. So if those two can continue to do what they do and get some good performances, as they did 2 weeks ago from the Williams in the offense, this team, they could definitely sneak into the playoffs. And as I said, you recall what the Arlington Renegades did over in the XFL. At no point during this season will I count these Maulers out. Last year, this team was a one-win team. Back in the 80s, they were a one-win team. They got 2 wins right now. If they win tonight, they're right in the mix. I say if they win this game, they have as good a chance as anybody to land themselves in the playoffs and possibly even in the championship for the USFL.
Yeah, they're let's see, they have the least amount of points allowed. They're at 102. They're 17 points a game. Yeah. Defense is just nasty. Punt returns too, man. They lead the league in punt return average. Touchbacks, they're the best at that. So this team, they're good in some areas. It's that offense, man. Whew, that offense is literally, oh my god, they are last in passing yards per game at 141 yards a game. This is telling you where the problems are lying on this team. And they're out of 8 teams, they rank 6th in rushing. So yeah, not a lot of offense. That defense is carrying that team.
Guess it could be worse then, huh?
Yep, it can be worse.
We're gonna hike it over the NFL, Mike. I got 5 talking points in the NFL I want to touch on here real quick. Number 1. So apparently in Monroeville, over the past week, a man gets into a vehicle that isn't his. He sees a bunch of what look like coloring books on the back seat of the vehicle. He thought it was his grandson's drawings and coloring books, but apparently it was Matt Canada's offensive playbook.
I thought that was the Kenny Pickett's artwork.
Well, here's the thing: they recovered the vehicle. Okay, let's start over. Just in case you haven't heard this. Kenny Pickett went to an interview, which actually went really well. The people at the radio station went on and on about this interview that day. I specifically remember.
Oh, because we know who interviewed him. His boyfriend interviewed him.
So the guy gets on and he says, "You know what? This was a great. What quarterback in the NFL can come in, get pulled in for an hour and talk to their local radio? Blah 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 blah." So, and anyway, he comes out when the interview's over and his vehicle's gone. Somebody stole his vehicle, and it just so happens that his playbook is in the vehicle. Of course,
just so happened.
I don't carry all my work around with me all the time, so I understand this. But on the other hand, I've also understand the idea of locking your doors. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So anyway, the guy they get they get his vehicle. It seems like the playbook has been recovered. Everything is okay. Add your own Bill Belichick jokes here.
I wonder, is it the same guy who stole Juju's bike? That stole Kenny's car? All I gotta say, people, follow the money. Follow the money. This sounds like this is like too good to be true. It sounds like this is all staged, like Juju's bike in the rescue of the operation of the bike and trying to find the bike. It seems too perfect, too similar. There's too many coincidences involved. Either that or I'm just losing it today, but it was just so funny. It's like, come on now.
Yeah.
You're a pro quarterback. You got your playbook in the car.
Yeah. I don't know how you would transfer from one place to another, but that's how I would do it.
I just digital, man. Digital. Kenny, come on, Kenny. Step up. How can you trust a guy
I would think
in
that's
the digital
a
age
thing.
who can't put that on your thumb
so
drive?
They only give Kenny the handwritten book and they give everybody else the digital?
Probably. And Kenny can't, his little hands can't handle the USB drive.
He doesn't have that he don't have that Penn State education.
I know he got that Pitt education. We know.
Yes.
We know computers are a bit behind your guys' time. All right.
Hey, we lead the world in medical, baby.
That you guys do it. You got medical, and Penn State has agriculture. Without both schools, man, the whole world would fall apart.
That's right. It all starts here in PA. Baby.
Hell yeah, baby.
Second talking point is this. Antonio Brown, who's suiting up tonight and playing for his Albany Empire, the team that he owns in the Arena Football League that he is involved with. That has nothing to do with what I'm going to say. Apparently, Antonio Brown is gaining bona fide interest from NFL teams to return in 2023.
Whatever team signs him, you deserve what you get. You deserve the circus that's going to happen. My God. He's not the player he once was.
And he's 10 times the nut that he once was.
Yes. No, if he was still producing at a high level, catching you like 13 touchdowns a year, 1,500 to 1,700 yards a game, or a season, almost 100 catches. Yeah, I'm signing him. I'll take that circus. You giving me a perennial all-pro an all-pro and a pro bowler. That's a circus. That's a nutcase. I can deal with that. I'll take the media circus as long as he's out there performing, but he's no longer performing, and the circus outweighs the production on the field.
I like to see. I'd be very interested to watch if somebody did take the chance on him.
Hey, Arizona Cardinals have an opening, baby.
Arizona Cardinals have a lot of openings. You're right. And of course, the latest you're talking about is DeAndre Hopkins, where he's going to land. Nobody knows. Some people are saying Buffalo. Others are saying Baltimore or Cleveland. Kansas City are the main four that I'm here, or the main four that I've been hearing. So
I saw Dallas as well. I don't know if you said that, but I think Dallas was linked. It was another rumor.
DeAndre Hopkins, who we said we wouldn't take because of his age, can possibly go somewhere and do some very big things, especially if it's in a city like Kansas City.
Yeah, on a team that's like that so close to a Super Bowl or just coming off winning a Super Bowl, I think he's more valuable there than in a team like Pittsburgh, where you would have to rely more on him. Where if he goes to one of these higher end teams that have more weapons to go around, more proven weapons, I think he's a nice complementary.
He could be a nice surrounding cast,
and he's not going to be the number one guy there, so he's going to get the lesser coverage, the less skilled cover guy, and he can produce monster numbers. But Arizona, it sounds like a fire sale. I think Omar Collins on the phone with them, trying to see find what good players he can get for like a 6th round draft pick.
Number 3, and this one is in. This one is brought to you by there's not a additional voice to the 2 that you hear today. So the number 3, the third wheel talking point is Le'Veon Bell. Bell says he used to smoke weed before games. He said he would score 2 touchdowns, run for 150 yards. And in my opinion, it makes a lot of sense because I've never seen a guy take the ball, run it into the line of scrimmage, stop entirely, check his watch, text message somebody, put his phone back in his pocket, and continue the run and gain, 15 yards.
Yeah.
So whatever he did, it worked.
It worked.
And you know what? At the end of the day, I don't know. I don't even.
I'm okay with it because, like, how many of these guys are being pumped full of painkillers anyway to go out there?
Yeah, but that's fine, and that's that. But here's the thing. So what then is the line? Is it okay for these guys to get loaded? Could they drink a 6-pack in the locker room?
No, he shouldn't be smoking weed before the game.
Exactly.
If you're able to go out there under the influence and still dominate,
right?
That's like the dude who won the very first ever snowboarding gold medal in the Olympics, and they took it away because he tested positive for marijuana. Right. No, you give him another medal for going out there stoned. And
here's the thing: say on a Wednesday in the middle of the month you smoke, and it's still in your system 3 weeks later. That has nothing to do with anything.
Nothing. No, it does not. And I have no problem with anyone using marijuana for pain relief. I've worked with people who've smoked weed before they did their job, and they are still able to function and do their job.
Right.
And if I don't think you should be able to do it on the job, but after work, hell yeah. Now, if level of smoking it like a few hours before kickoff, and the effects on the mind is gone at that point, but it's still the body's feeling good. Heck yeah, I'm all for it.
It really explains the patience of the guy and his style. I said, you could stop right in the middle of a line and just stand there and look around you for 5 seconds to see what everybody's doing and then run. Anybody else would be freaking out. You're going to get clobbered.
I was watching the video, and they were talking about his doing the weed, and like, oh, so this explains his run style, and they show him run up to the line and literally stop and move. What I noticed was every single offensive lineman was either 2 yards being pushed back to the line of scrimmage or still back at the original line of scrimmage because they got no push.
Yeah.
And so like Le'Veon Bell was like, I got to do my own thing here.
They
so I got to get
smoking.
They should have been smoking, or maybe that's why he did smoke, because he's like, I got to expand my mind to find a hole here because there's none being made for me.
Talking point number 4, the Pittsburgh Steelers seem to have all the holes filled by Omar Khan and company, except there's just one last lingering position I keep hearing, Mike, is this inside linebacker position, a little bit of depth. Do you think it's possible? Is it possible that the Pittsburgh Steelers could give Miles Jack a phone call and say, hey, you want to come back?
I could see that. I don't see why not. They did clear a bunch of cap space, but that's probably, like most of that's going to probably go to Highsmith. But, if he's still out there and he wants to come back and work on the cheap, it could be a win-win for both teams. Or, like I said before, man, call up Arizona. Like, hey, I got a 5th round pick floating here for notice you're rebuilding. I notice Isaiah Simmons isn't living up to your expectations. We'll take him off your hands.
You know what's so funny about this? We usually send everybody there.
I know. I was thinking that
they're like Arizona East. We're like Arizona East.
Yeah, like because Brian McFadden, who was the coach?
Oh, the list goes on.
Really. Like the what Ken Wisenhunt. It's like,
yeah.
So now it's coming back.
James Conner.
James. There's a couple other players there, but I could see Miles Jack coming back. Like I said, if he come back, work on the cheap. I can see it. And like far as I know, like he was a good teammate, no problems. Just they wanted to go in a different direction, and he's still out there, and they're saving money. And I
think it's got to be crazy at this point not to. You need that depth. Yeah. He needs some work. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Number 5, Mike. DJ Deontay Johnson makes this bold prediction for this season. Humbly,
I love it. For a receiver, this was humble.
He's saying that he is going to be one of the top 5 to 10 receivers in the league. He's gonna have over 1,000 yards, over 100 catches, and have an All-Pro and a Pro Bowl season.
I you know what? I like it.
I tell you what, if he did this, I'd be ecstatic. I mean, I go on and on about this guy, and so does a lot of people. But you know what? If this would actually happen, it would be the greatest thing ever for this team.
It would be.
Because if he puts up these numbers and the other receivers that we have also put up halfway decent numbers, we're going to be having a really good season.
I mean,
so
yeah, he's had like throughout his career, like I'm going to discount his rookie year because that's the rookie year. You're not going to put up monster numbers unless you're Randy Moss. So second year in the league, 88 catches, 900 yards, 7 touchdowns. 2021, 107 catches, 1,100 yards, almost 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns. So he can do it. And last year, with a young quarterback, and then Trubisky, that whole, who's quarterback, who's not, he still had 86 catches, 880 yards, almost 900 yards last year. So these are not outrageous goals, because if Kenny Pickett takes that step, like a lot of us hope he does, like a lot of people expect him to, I'm expecting Deontay Johnson's numbers to increase as well, because you got to figure his first year in the league, his quarterbacks were Duck and Mason. He had Ben for like a game, and then he had Ben with 2 years with a dead arm, and then a rookie quarterback and a journeyman quarterback. So you're hoping this year, everything going right, he's going to have a true healthy franchise quarterback, and if he's shown that he could be a legit number 1 receiver, I don't think these numbers are that far-fetched.
No, I don't either. I think he needs to keep his mouth shut, play football, and work for these numbers.
Say you're a wide receiver in the NFL. You talk this. Keep
bringing the drama to the locker room.
That's not drama. That's not drama at all.
When you're yelling, you're over week after week after week. You're yelling. Guy want the. You know what? Everybody on the team wants the ball. You got to. If you catch the ball and make touchdowns, you're gonna get the ball more. I promise. But that's, like I said, that's not really the point I'm trying to make here. The point I'm trying to make is this: I hope that he does this. I hope that he has this season, because as I said, if he has this season and puts these numbers up, we're gonna have a pretty good season. And you know what? It's feeling real good right now, and I hope that Deontay Johnson could humbly fulfill his prophecy.
Oh, he's gonna do it. He is going to be the linchpin of this offense.
I hope you're right. There's nothing I would rather see. I would rather see him overexceed than underachieve, because as I said, he's more valuable as he's doing these things, as he's getting to the end zone, as he's racking up yards, as he's racking up catches. I want this. People here want this. We're going to give it, as you do, we're going to give it to him as it comes, as the season comes, and we're going to let him have it. Depending on what he does. If he didn't have this happen, we wouldn't have given him shit for that. Same with anybody else on the field. Come out, shut your mouth, do your job, produce. Let's win football games. That's all that matters right now. Mike, why don't you tell everybody about the website?
2dumbyinzers.com, the number 2 DUMYINZRS.com. Head on over there. We have links to YouTube, Spotify, Anchor. What else do we have over there? We have email address, Facebook, Twitter links, all that fun stuff. Link to the merchandise store to buy your Bob Nothing merchandise and your 2W Yinzers merchandise. All at 2dumbyinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. www.2dumbyinzers.com. A lot of cool things over there. We are live 7 days a week. We are on our summer schedule, so we're on every single day, Monday through Sunday at 11:30 a.m. The show we do that day gets uploaded over on Spotify at 8 o'clock in the evening. If you only have a chance to listen to the show or prefer to only listen, it'll be on this every day that we do the show live that evening on Spotify at 8 o'clock. Mike, you ready for a little trivia?
I am ready for some trivia.
All right, man. This is another Seattle Mariners trivia, because we are playing the Mariners. Here we go. Which Mariners player has the longest streak of 200 hit seasons in the Major League history? I'm going to give you some choices. But again, which Mariners player has the longest streak of 200 hit seasons in Major League history? Is it A, Alex Rodriguez? Is it B, Ken Griffey Jr.? Is it C, Ichiro Suzuki? Or is it D, Edgar Martinez? Go ahead and take a minute to think that over. We'll get your answer in just a moment.
Those are all really damn good players.
They really are.
My
Seattle
God
has had the best players in the league spread out like I've never seen before in my life.
Right?
If you know what I mean? They never had them at the same time.
No. If you could have like 3 of them playing all at once,
freaking A-Rod, Ichiro, Griffey, Randy Johnson. I mean, the list goes on, but you can't never have them at the same time. All right, everybody. This is the trivia of the day. It's a Seattle Mariner question because, again, the Pittsburgh Pirates are battling Buccos are in Seattle, taking on the Mariners. So here we go one more time, everybody. Which Mariners player has the longest streak of 200 hit seasons in Major League history? The options are this: Alex Rodriguez, Ken Griffey Jr., Ichiro Suzuki, and Edgar Martinez. Do you have any idea? Do you have any thoughts, Mike? Who you might go with?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ichiro just because, my God, he was a hits machine.
Yeah. I'm not going to say whether that's right or wrong, but I think that's where I would go too. You want me to lock you in with Ichiro?
Lock me in with Ichiro.
Okay. Get you locked in. Man, it's all Derpy's fault. Ever since I put that Derpy button in, I can't ever get my
I need a Derpy button for you.
All right, there we go.
Oh my!
Mike is locked in.
Oh my Lord! This show has gone off the rails. Are you? Did you pull a left bell? Did you smoke before you came on?
No, things would be going a lot more smooth if I smoked before
they
I came
would
on.
be. They would.
And
be.
It's all Derpy's fault. Like I said, he got.
I hope he's listening live and he realizes.
Derpy, it's all your fault.
It's all your fault, bro.
The blue button. Damn it! What happened was, and I have to say this because I when I entered Derpy's sound in my sound button, my buttons, it moved the blue button that was at the end of this column down to the next. Now it's next to another blue button. So my first instinct is to always tap that first blue. Anyway, thanks, Derpy. Thanks. So you said Ichiro. Ichiro is your final answer. I got you locked in, I think, through the Jeopardy sound.
You know what? Did you say 50 home run seasons?
What?
What was the question again?
200 hit seasons,
okay,
man.
Yeah. Where was I getting 50 home run seasons?
I don't know.
I'm sober.
Maybe you're the one that's smoking, damn it.
I need to. Maybe I need to. This might go a lot smoother on my end.
All right, here we go. Which Mariners player has the longest streak of 200 hit seasons in the majors? In history, the options are Alex Rodriguez, Ken Griffey Jr., Ichiro Suzuki, and Edgar Martinez. Mike says Ichiro Suzuki in the final answer. The answer to this is, in fact, Ichiro Suzuki.
Ichiro, baby.
You know, with these Mariner questions, Mike, it sure makes it easy as well because of the way that it's been spread out with these individual players every now and then.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like, my God, like the Yankees, where you have the Yankees or the Red Sox, where there's like, was
it a Joe DiMaggio record or a Lou Gehrig record?
Exactly.
Or Roger Maris, maybe.
Was it a Babe Ruth record?
Right. So, Mike, you have anything before we take off, man?
Oh God, I really have nothing today. I was trying to think of something, but I have nothing pithy, nothing comical, nothing edgy, nothing controversial. I actually, I do have something. Nah, I'll save that for tomorrow.
All right.
Just have a good weekend, everyone. It's Saturday. Get outside, have some fun.
Yeah, that's right, everybody. We will be back tomorrow at 11:30, so I hope that you join us. We hope to see you then. But for Ryan, Mike, and a missing Derpy, two dumb Yinzers, have a great Saturday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Yeah.